Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo, and this is MeWe Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest, many online, and we interview our practitioners and vendors so you get a chance to know who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm excited to be here today with Kim Lawler. Kim, it's great to be with you.
Good to be with you too, Lorelai. Thank you for having me today.
You are so welcome. So tell us, what is it that you do?
Well, I am a psychic medium, spiritual life coach, and I created my own oracle cards. And so these are some of the cards I read. I read a variety of different cards, um, but mediumship is also something I love to do.
So that's what I was wondering. Like, is there some way that you do them all together, or they're just separate things, and sometimes different things show up for people in a session?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
great.
And then I do sessions for spiritual life coaching when people want to sign up for sessions.
Great, great. Well, how did you get started doing any of this work?
Well, so about 2022, I was putting away some photos. I was looking at a picture of my siblings, and my one of my brothers was missing from the photo. And since then, my mother and brother had passed, and I could just feel them both with me. And so I decided to go to a medium. Shortly thereafter, she sent me an invitation to a class. And so I'm like, okay, I'm retired now, so I'll take this class. And I was like, oh my God, I can talk with dead people. And so then I just started taking class after class after class. And then I did a one-on-one mediumship with her and with that same medium. And I ended up, um, or she asked me, or she said, you should start a website. And I was like, okay, because I thought I was just doing it for fun. And so then I started a website. And then, like, within that year, I got this um, download in my head to make my oracle cards. And then in May of this past year, I started writing a book, and now it's nearly ready to go to market. And so it just kind of all just really snowballed to here I
Wow,
am.
wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like so much in such a short time. Maybe it's could
Yeah.
you share a little about your cards? Like what are the cards like? Can you show us a few of the cards and what?
Yeah, these are oracle cards, and they all have a theme about the garden. So this one is seeds, and it's talking about how seeds carry the promise of life and survival and renewal. And you're talking about planting our seeds with care. And there's ones about forest creatures. I mean, there's it's all about how the garden
And hold them
revolves
in front of
around.
you. I know we can't see them. I'm like, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like this is a Mother's Earth and Father Sky.
hmm
So it's all kinds of cards that are talking about different
Cool.
life cycles in the garden, but also how they all affect our lives, for an
Yeah.
example.
Wow. Wow. Well, gosh, and then the spiritual life coaching, like how did that kind of enter into the mix? There things you're doing for a long time that have flown into this, like come into this too, or is it all just emerging?
Well, so as a nurse, I was a nurse for 30 years, and a part being a nurse is teaching, 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 right? And so when I was doing these card readings, I would suddenly find myself teaching about things. And so I decided to take a spiritual life coach certification course. And it was just like the next natural thing to do. I'd been in the woo universe all of my life and kind of stepped away for a while, right? When
Mm.
there was a time when I was like feeling, is there really a God anymore, right? And then after when I started taking these classes, I was drawn back in. I mean, I
Mm.
was full force pulled back in. And so it is definitely a calling, just like nursing was for me. So I'm happy to not really be just sitting around doing gardening and being retired. I'm happy to be doing this work.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Clearly mediumship really is its own theme, but like, are there other themes in the work that you do with people?
Yeah, so the book I wrote, let me tell you about that because it's called As We Sage, and it's a woman's guide to reclaiming spirit, wisdom, joy, and magic beyond midlife in turbulent times. And I know that's a big mouthful,
Wow.
but I know there are a lot of people who are having a really rough time right
Mhm.
now, and they had a rough time during our last political upheaval. And so this is teaching them coping skills, um, because I'm finding myself so much less anxious this time around. And, we have to focus on ourselves so that we can help the world. If we're just
Yeah.
anxious and depressed and, we can't do anything, it hampers our own lives as well as what we put out into the world.
Hmm. Yeah, so I hear it's really there's like helping people ground, helping people find themselves, helping people open, right, to all the like the energy and the resources and
Yeah,
yeah,
living a
wow.
heart-centered life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So great, so great. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
You have so much happening.
Yeah, there's for being a retired grandma, I kind of doing a lot.
Oh, so imagine so
But
people can work with you privately as well as at the fairs, it sounds like. You do private sessions online and also do you do some in person too?
that's right. I will do in person, and I also sell gift cards.
Hmm.
And at the fair, I also have created a small line of angelic greeting cards that I'll have there, as well as my oracle cards. And yes, I do readings. I haven't figured out how to do short spiritual life coaching sessions, but I'm figuring that out right now. So maybe by the time the fair comes, I'll have that figured out.
That's great. That's great. Well, if
Yeah.
people want to connect with you, how do they find you on the web?
I am at Kim at hearttosoulconnection.com or www.hearttosoulconnection.com. And that's spelled all exactly as the normal English is. So heart to soul. Um, and I would love to meet up with people.
Great. It was lovely having you. Excited having you at the events.
Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate you having those events.
You're so welcome. And you can find out more about all of our events at MeWeFairs.com. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.